Welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Now that I've thought about it, I'm going to have to do it. So the reason I came down here wasn't actually to jump into the mob spawner, and it wasn't to work on the mob spawner either because I haven't had a chance to go digging for more redstone and resources. The reason we're here today is because of Shaun the Sheep, and in one of the previous videos a lot of you said that you like Shaun the Sheep and that we should let him live, and I think that's a really nice idea. I think you guys have saved Shaun the Sheep with your comments, and we're actually going to go and build a little shrine for him. But the first thing I need to do is build a little bridge and get some wheat, and then we can lead him to safety. Okay, I have a bad feeling that something could possibly go horribly wrong. Could be because of that big drop below us, but let's hope for the best. Okay, come this way, Shaun. Hey, see, he's smart. He likes to spin around while he climbs the stairs as well. Let's hope we can get all the way up here without him falling off or derping around. There we go, that's a good sheep. Oh, we've got an imposter. Okay. Got to keep my eye on Shaun the Sheep. He's the one on the right. We don't want these guys getting muddled up. Come on quickly, Shaun, before the other guy. Oh! That's not good. Okay, that one's Shaun, and this one, I'm sorry, is going to have to go. Don't want to get these guys muddled up. Come on. Right, so we need to find a place to build a shrine for Shaun. And I have an idea for this. We need to be able to contain Shaun so that he can't escape. And one of the ideas I've had for doing this is with trapdoors, because people keep telling me you can suppress mobs by putting trapdoors on the sides of blocks, and I was being told that when I was building the animal breeding pens. So instead of using water for Shaun to suppress him and keep him in a little area, which does sound a little harsh at the moment, but it will be a shrine, we're going to try and use trapdoors and see how they work out. And at the moment I'm not really sure where I'm going to put Shaun, but I think for a temporary measure we'll put him up the top of this hill. So here is a temporary little hole that I made for Shaun, and the only animal that can actually get in there is pigs, which I just realised, but this stops all the other types of animals getting in. And yeah, this is definitely not going to be a shrine. I've got a few ideas for what I want to do, but at the moment I want to test this whole thing with the trapdoors out, because if it turns out that they can suppress mobs and keep them in an area and stop them from glitching around, then I can do something really cool with this. But I've been testing like this, trying to get him to walk into the walls, but he just sits there in the middle looking at me. And I think what I'm going to have to do is pop into creative mode and try this out on my server. So after doing a little bit of testing on my creative server, I found out that actually the best way to suppress the sheep is to have the trapdoors down like this. So let's take a look at that. So when the trapdoors are on the walls like this, it doesn't really seem to stop the sheep from actually clipping into the wall, and then they do that SMP thing where they find their way out and yeah, they escape. But when you have them like this, it seems like the hitbox at the edge here actually pushes back the sheep and they can't clip into it, which is really interesting. And what I observed was I had a really big cell with lots of these down like this around the outside, and I put tons of sheep in it, and they all squashed together and it was really overcrowded, but they would always just push into the edge of this but get stopped like we do, and they wouldn't do that SMP thing where they glitch into it and start to clip up on it. So this is what I think people meant to do when they said to use trapdoors, and not how I imagined it with them up on the side like this. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go build a prototype for a little project idea that I have, and we're going to see if this works. So here's the concept that I had in mind, and I'm a little disappointed to see that the mobs are actually glitching into the trapdoors. This didn't happen at all on my server, and on this one they can glitch up onto the trapdoors and also into them like this one's doing here. But anyway, the main idea that I had was that these would be wall regeneration cells and that we could flush water underneath them. So once we've sheared all of the sheep we can collect the water after. But straight away this gives us another problem, because the water is actually giving the sheep a higher distance from the ground, and they can jump up onto the trapdoors. So this one here isn't actually glitching around, it's actually on the trapdoor. So if I hold this wheat here, you can see that they can easily just get out of that. So the obvious thing you'd think to do is to lower the water, but if we do that then the mobs are going to be able to clip directly into the walls again. So what we might actually need, and yeah, I think this would work, is if we put another ring of dirt around here and then another ring of trapdoors, then they shouldn't be able to get out, but the only way to find out for sure is to do a test. So now we have 2 rings of trapdoors to suppress the sheep, and this time when I pull the lever I'm fairly confident that the animals aren't going to be able to escape. But let's do that and find out. Okay, it looks like they're not going to escape. They're not glitching around as much as well, which is good. Let's encourage them to try and escape with some wheat. Okay, this is really interesting. Now if you can see, they're not actually glitching around at all. They're jumping up and down right where the edges of the trapdoor hitboxes are, so it's quite interesting. And I think what's happening here is if I just put that back, they should be able to derp around again. Let's try and encourage that. Or maybe not. There you go, they've started derping. So I think the reason that they weren't derping at all is because they had water underneath them. So in the animal breeding pens we use water to push the animals back into the middle because they don't seem to derp around as much when they're being moved by water. So I guess that's what was happening here, as well as using the hitboxes of the trapdoors. Because they're in water, they're not going to glitch around as much, and that's quite promising. I've been observing the sheep for about 40 minutes now, and none of them have escaped. I've also been breeding them in an attempt to overcrowd the cell a little bit, and it still doesn't seem to be a problem. Even when I turn the water on, they're just fine. So I'm thinking that what we have here is a good concept to now turn into something better. And obviously what I want to do is make a SMP compatible wall regeneration cell. So the problem with this design is that we're limited in one direction, which is the direction that the water flows in, because if we were to make it wider this way, then the water's going to stop over there where it did, and the water's there to flush out all of the wall drops when we shear the sheep. So one idea that I've had is that we can extend it this way as much as we like, because we can keep adding pistons and redstone to extend the signal that controls all of the pistons, and that's the water in. And we can't extend it this way, although I've had the idea that we could have a set of pistons on either side and then we'll be able to double the width this way as well. So I guess I'm going to have to build a second prototype and see what happens with it, and the place that I actually want to build it is right here in the middle of all this water. So when I was up on the hill up there, I was looking over at this location and I liked how flat it was, and it looked quite a nice little area to build something. So if we were to build it out there in the ocean, that would be quite a unusual spot to build something, because normally you build on land, and because it's one deep it's going to be really easy just to set up a nice perimeter. And I thought we could do something quite aesthetical with this, like we did with our animal breeding pens. And normally when I've built stuff in the past for these, it's all about function and not really about looks, so we've got a good opportunity here to do something cool and build it out there in the water. I was thinking we could have a bridge that leads over to it, and yeah, try and make it look really interesting. So I'm going to go over there and start building. At the moment I think it's best not to pursue this project any further, and there's a couple of reasons why. First of all is redstone. I don't actually have a lot left, and it was kind of foolish to start this project. These are the last of my sticky pistons, and that means basically I'm going to have to go caving and do something like that to get the resources that I need to continue working on this project. And the other reason is because I'm not really feeling it either. I found that since I've been on Hermitcraft, I tend to focus on one project at a time until it's completed, and at the moment I'm thinking about the mob spawner and getting more resources for it, so doing this seems like a bit of a distraction from that. And yeah, as I said, I'm not really feeling it, but it's not a waste of time really, because as you know, I read all the comments in the videos, and if you guys have any suggestions, any ideas for this, you can let me know, and when we come back to this one in the future, hopefully we'll have some really good ideas to improve what we've got already. And although this is okay, I think this will work fine, it seems like, oh, another thing's just popped into my head. When we shear the sheep, the wool could land on the trapdoors, so yeah, another reason why I might need to revise these ideas. But yeah, it seems like this is decent, but it wouldn't really look that great. So I look forward to hearing what ideas you have, and maybe together we can come up with something a lot better. But this is something we'll come back to in the future, and I'm actually going to remove this because it's going to be a bit of an eyesore, and it's going to take me a long time to build that mob spawner, and I've got lots of plans for it, so it'll probably be quite some time before we come back to doing this whole wall regeneration cell. But let's not forget about Shaun the sheep. I said I'd build him a shrine, and that's what I plan on doing next. I've been thinking about what I want to do for Shaun's shrine for quite some time now, and there's a lot of ideas and none of them that I'm really too happy with. One of the ones that I was thinking about was doing something over on this island, and that's only because it has this nice circular shape and a hill on the middle, but I'm sure there'll be something more suited for that, perhaps a lighthouse, although that's not the kind of project I build. It might be something I want to do at some point. But anyway, I do have one idea for Shaun that I think is going to be really cool. So what I picture in my mind is having a sort of a dip in the ground with trees around it. So if we had trees in a U shape like they are just here, and I'll be using saplings and bone meal to get the right size trees and get it all in the right shape. And anyway, in the middle of these trees it would go down about 3 or 4 blocks, and that's where Shaun would be. There'd be a load of grass for him to eat at the bottom, and then we'd surround that on 3 sides of hatch doors, and then at the front we'd use water to suppress him, so that way we can put a little bit of a balcony that we can walk down to and see Shaun. And also, being that it's water, it's kind of like an aesthetical thing that he's got a little water stream to drink from as well, even though that's not what goes on in Minecraft. But anyway, what I'm going to do is try and find the ideal location and then plant the trees and get them in the right sort of shape, and then start digging the hole and see how it looks and see if it's going to go anywhere. So I've picked a location that's right next to my storage, and that's the treehouse just over there. I've expanded this a little bit, and I'm still not sure if I actually want to go with this, but I made it go around the corner here. I put coal on the corner because I imagine over time I'm going to get a ton of that. But yeah, as I said, not really sure about this, but it's nice to do at the moment. So over here is where I'm planning on building the shrine, and I think this is going to look good, but it definitely needs some improvement. At the moment, the whole trees surrounding the shrine thing looks really cool, but it just needs a little more detail because all we've got is wood and leaves. So I'm going to have to think about what else to use, but one thing that will be important in here is lighting, and I think having some jack-o'-lanterns or glowstone up in the leaves is going to illuminate them a little, and that can bring some light into this area, which I think would look really cool. So I'm going to have a look through all the items I've got and see if there's any other ones that I think would suit what we're doing here. I've added in glowstone behind the leaves, and I like how this illuminates, except at the moment it's daytime and you can't really see the difference that it's made. And you can also see little bits of the glowstone through the leaves, which I do like, so I might add some more glowstone in there. But anyway, you can see I've opened up the bottom here, and what I was thinking is that we need more space for Shaun to roam around, and it also adds some depth to the room, which is quite nice. And I like the way it levels off here with a dirt ceiling, and I think I'll probably keep that, but I'm going to be changing the walls. And now that I look at it when it's like this, I think that it's too narrow. It just doesn't feel quite right yet. So what I'm going to do is plant some more trees over this side, and then extend the whole thing about 3 or 4 blocks over so it's wider, and then I think it will start to look a little bit better. Okay, it's now wider and it does look a lot better, although it still needs that detail, and I'm not sure what to do. Although there's obviously different leaf types, and I was thinking maybe vines as well, although they're going to grow down and hang into the middle of the shrine, which I'm not sure I want that. But anyway, what I'm thinking is the next thing to do would be to make the floor out of grass and then start work on the outside. So we need hatch doors on these walls, and we also need to decide what the walls are going to be made out of. But the roof up here I think I'm going to leave as dirt because I like how that looks next to the leaves, especially when you can just catch a little bit of it through the leaves from the top here. And also I think it's going to be difficult to change that because it's all level around here. Actually no, it's 1 block higher. But anyway, I'm going to leave it as dirt, and then put something in for the walls, and we'll take a look at that when it's done. I've been working on these walls, and at the moment I really can't come up with anything. I've tried quite a few things, and this doesn't look that great using the furnaces here. It doesn't feel like a shrine, it feels more like a prison when it has walls like that. And this one over here actually looks a lot better when the trapdoors are up like this. But that's one of the things that I totally forgot about. We've got to have trapdoors around the edges to stop Sean from escaping, and at the front here we're going to use water, so when he walks onto the water he gets pushed back a little bit. And yeah, I was thinking at first that it stops Sean from walking behind the tree trunks, so that we would move the walls back a couple of blocks and then we could have these down and he could have a little more space to roam. But then that wouldn't look right either, because from up here you wouldn't even be able to see the walls if we were to move them a couple of blocks further back. So I figured that actually it looks okay having the trapdoors like that. They sort of line up with the tree trunks in a way, so I think it'll look decent. But anyway, I'm going to continue working on the walls and see if I can come up with something that looks decent. Okay, I think I've made a breakthrough here with this wooden trim that we have going around the top. It just looks right, and then I think any material that we put below it is going to look fairly decent. We've got stone bricks and birchwood planks here, and they both look okay, but I'm looking for something a little bit different. But also, if we just jump up a couple of blocks here, I kind of like how you can see the wood through the leaves if you were looking at it from up top here. So there is one material that I want to try this with, which is the birch wood, not the birchwood planks, and I think the white and the black dots could look quite good next to the green, so there wouldn't be too much colour going on the wall, because we'd have white and black and brown, and then the grass would be the bright part. So I think it could look good like that. But I will chop down some birchwood trees and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, that really does look pretty cool, and I'm really pleased with that, because it's taken me so long to try and come up with something that look right. But that does, it is a little odd, I'll give you that, but now that looks really good. And when we put those trapdoors on there, trapdoors. I think I call them hatch doors sometimes as well, but let's just put those on quickly. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think that's right. Okay, I'm going to put the birchwood all the way around the outside, and then we'll have another look at it. Okay, here it is with birchwood around the outside, and you might have noticed that I've changed some of the leaves here to jungle leaves as well. Just done a few in odd positions, and just breaks it up a little bit, which is decent, although I still want to add more detail here. But anyway, down the bottom I've now put vines on the wood trim around the outside, and I'm not sure if this is right. Now when you're up the top you can barely see it, and then when you're down here it looks okay, and I like the way it goes onto the dirt as well. In fact, if I could do one thing, it would be just have it on the dirt, but you can't do that. So what I'm thinking at the moment is it's either put them on the trim of wood at the back, or we could put them on our tree trunks here like this as well. Let's do that on a couple of these. Not sure if that looks better or not. Okay, those vines didn't really suit the wood trim or the tree trunks, so I put them up here in the leaves, and I didn't want them to grow down, so what I've done is I've put them in the little bits like this, indents I think you'd call that. So yeah, they're going to stay there, and they just bring a bit more detail, and the vines are also quite bright compared to the other leaf blocks, so they're quite noticeable. And I've also added some up there and over on this side as well, and those ones are a lot brighter than... Has it got vines there? Yeah, they don't seem to be as bright. I don't know why that is, but anyway, we'll let them go down at the front where they won't hang down into the cell and see what that looks like. But what I think I'm going to do next is start work on the water and the balcony that we're going to stand on to look at Sean. And also I need to sort out... Oh, that was a bit fast. I need to sort out the lighting as well, because I don't want to put jack-o'-lanterns down here, although I do have some because I've been growing some pumpkins. I'm not sure that would really suit, and also I don't want to use torches, so yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be using yet. So it seemed like torches would be the only way to light this up. I haven't really had any other ideas apart from one, but I'll get to that in a moment. We've got pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns underneath the water here, which looks okay, and I've started work on the balcony, and I'm really not too sure about this. From up here it looks kind of bland, and this block here I wanted to change to a wood block, but I didn't have any on me. But when you're down here in the shrine, it does look quite balanced. But anyway, I've got some flowers on me because I was thinking the grass looked a little bland, so we could plant some flowers down here, but that looks kind of silly. I don't know, seems pretty pointless. What I might do is actually have a flower bed just outside the top here, just put some flowers on either side, so there's a bit of an entrance area around the balcony, But the other idea that I had for lighting was to till the soil going around the outside and then put some glowstone underneath it, because when we till the block it will become transparent and then the light can pass through it. So we could put birchwood behind these blocks, because when we till it they'll be slightly visible, and then have glowstone underneath it, or probably jack-o'-lanterns because they'll be cheaper, and then the light will shine through. And if we do that, I think it will be enough to actually light up all of this area, so I guess it's worth giving it a try. Okay, this actually looks really decent, I think. At the moment I have to keep tilling the soil because it's not hydrated, and you can see in this corner it's slightly lighter, and it'll all go dark when it's all properly hydrated by water. So having a dark border around the outside I think will actually look quite decent. Okay, at the moment we can see that it's fairly dark, and I've also just noticed that the vines are starting to grow down, because they can also grow sideways, of course. So maybe I'll just have to do some maintenance on this from time to time and stop them growing down. But anyway, okay, this didn't work as expected. It appears I've gotten it totally wrong. Perhaps the jack-o'-lanterns have to be the other side where that wood block is there for this to work. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if it's making a slight difference or not. Let's go up top and have a look. Yeah, it doesn't appear to have made that much difference. Okay, right, I'm going to have to reposition those jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, so it appears that I'm totally misinformed about how this works. The light does pass through, but only slightly. It seems like maybe only a couple of light levels get through, because if I remove one block, it just gets a lot brighter around here. So that's not going to work, basically. I'm going to have to come up with something different. Probably going to go back to doing torches on the walls here, on the tree trunks. Okay, I guess this is how the shrine is going to look. I kind of pictured it having a little more detail, but yeah, this is about as far as I got with it. I can't really think of what else we need in here. Maybe if we bone milled the ground, he could have some grass to eat while he's in here. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this shrine. And I've got a little sign here to put down. Sean the sheep saved by... Wow. Saved by the subs. That's because you guys said to save him and make a little shrine, so that's what's happened. And now I've got to clean this up. Okay, let's take Sean back to the shrine. It's only a little journey to go, so hopefully another creeper won't come at me. In fact, the whole time I've been building this, mobs have been attacking me, and it's because I'm right above the caving system where the shrine is. And so they wander out of the caves and come to me because they got the AI, well, I was going to say the new AI pathfinding system, but we've had it for quite a while now. And I better not get lost. It's through here, isn't it? Okay, over this way. I've also seen Tree Pig wandering around here again. In fact, he was climbing up trees and falling off of them again. I think I might make him a shrine as well at some point, just a little tree that he can stay on top of. But anyway, here we are. See if Sean likes it. There we go, he looks quite happy in his little shrine now. And yeah, you may have already spotted it. I put a block of glowstone up there. Oops. There we go, finished. So yeah, I put the sign up here on the glowstone, which I thought looked a little bit better. And there you go. This turned out to be quite a fun little project to do. It's quite nice to take a break from doing functional stuff in Minecraft and just have a little bit of fun and make a little shrine for a sheep. But anyway, all that needs doing now is planting some trees around the outside, because this thing is a big lump of leaves that doesn't look too clever at the moment. And yeah, I want to disguise it by planting trees around it and make it part of the forest. And yeah, this thing has got me thinking about people that have donated to the channel, because this is dedicated to all of you that subscribe and all the viewers who watch my videos. This whole YouTube thing is really fantastic, so it's nice to do something that you suggest from time to time, like a lot of you said you'd like to see Sean the sheep saved, so here he is in his shrine. But it got me thinking about people that have donated, because I used to do a tribute to them by making mushroom refill stands in Asuma's world, and I don't play on there anymore, and it feels like I need to tribute them on here because this is my new home on Hermitcraft. And yeah, I've had a couple of ideas. First of all, with these hatch doors, I might be able to actually make the mushroom refill stand again, so that's one idea. And the other one would be to make more shrines like this for sheep and put different coloured wool for each person that donates. They could have a sheep of their choice with a colour and a name for the sheep as well. So anyway, just let me know any ideas that you have, because this was a really cool one. It'd be nice to find something that we could do for the donators as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.